Hi, it's Barrett from the All About Nothing podcast. This holiday season, make your celebrations unforgettable with ZJZ Designs. From festive Christmas prints to cheerful holiday designs, we've got everything to spread the joy. Introducing Eddie the Elf, dashing through the snow on his sled, perfect for adding that whimsical touch to your holiday wardrobe. Whether it's cozy sweatshirts or statement tees, find the perfect fit for everyone on your list. Ready to slay this season? Visit ZJZDesigns.com. ZJZ Designs, where style meets the holiday spirit. Welcome, everyone, to the All About Nothing podcast kind of daily show. I am Barrett Gruber, host of the All About Nothing podcast with Zach King. You can find me across all social media at Barrett Gruber. This is Bill Kimler, host of the podcast Black, White, and Blue in the South with Dr. Jamil Brooks. Find him across all social media at Political Bill SC. If you'd like to participate in the show, you can do that on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, everywhere, whatever.
I remember listening to talk radio shows and they would give out a fax number. You could send in a fax with your question. Send in a fax.
803-672-0533. That is our phone number. I could potentially put that on the air, but I don't suspect I could. Hey, how are you, Bill?
Good. Hey, I enjoyed your latest All About Nothing podcast with the grand return of Zach King.
You didn't feel like we kind of phoned that one in?
No, it was just the two of you kind of chatting and getting caught up on things. I will admit, when you're in a relationship, but then the person you're partnering with goes back to their previous lover and they've dumped you and you feel a little jealous, after they've been treated so bad and abandoned your partner and now they're back together with an ex that had left them and you feel just a little twang of jealousy. That's kind of where I'm at right now.
Is that what it felt like? Just
a little bit. Yeah. No, it was really good to hear him back. I'm glad to hear him get back into the being on the OG.
Yeah. So we've got one episode left for the year. You all have one episode left.
We recorded our episode last Tuesday. I have not had a blessed single minute to sit down to begin editing it. I don't know when it's going to get released.
That's just kind of what life is like lately. But yeah, we've got one more episode. I'm going to record with Preach Jacobs on Thursday night for the episode that drops on Monday to discuss basically a sort of a in memoriam of what was going to be his guest for his soul sessions earlier this month, and actually would have been last month, but his guest, and I won't give it all away, but it's likely going to be one of those tear-jerking.
Well, you're not doing
episodes.
An In Memoriam as a roast. That's
no, definitely not a roast.
This wasn't the
Definitely
guy from the UK, was it?
No, this was Delana. She passed away from complete kidney failure.
She was on his show, though. No, did I?
She didn't. She never got an opportunity to be on.
Wow, I remember he had a poet on, and she was amazing, very powerful. I didn't know if that was the same one.
No, but this woman was she was a writer. She was authored. She has a book that is I want to say that it was published or it's about to be published. She had already gotten the money from the check for publishing was already in her hands, and just before Thanksgiving she suffered from total kidney failure. Thought that dialysis was going to be the answer, and on the Saturday after Thanksgiving just
that's awful.
Passed away. So we're gonna talk about Delana and
did you know her yourself?
I said, I didn't.
Okay.
But ultimately, everything that he had told me about, everything, all of the videos I had seen, I had read excerpts of some of the things that she had written. Unbelievable woman. This is a woman that one of the things that she did, and there are videos that he told me about was she was avid horse rider, but she was also like one of those gun artists where they could ride on a horse and shoot from the horse,
like Annie Oakley
at targets. Yeah.
Oh wow.
I mean, she sounded unbelievably accomplished.
Well, it's certainly possible to be devastated about the loss of someone you never knew or met. I mean, it's entirely possible. I mean, speaking of which, I mean, how devastated are you about Rob Reiner?
Howard, that's going to be tough. Howard Stern had me in tears this morning talking about Rob Reiner.
Wow.
I didn't know Rob Reiner. Like and you know, the worst part is like when I initially heard that Rob Reiner had died, I thought Ivan Reitman. I was like, fuck, the guy that did Ghostbusters is dead.
He's already dead.
And he was killed. Yeah, I know. But I was like,
dead again?
And he was killed. He was killed by his son, Jason Reitman, the guy that did the latest Ghostbusters. Like, I went down a hole. But yeah, no, Howard Stern was talking about Rob Reiner. And it was just listening to Howard Stern talk about those things. He does that to me all the time. I hate it. I hate how Howard Stern has that effect on me. But yeah, just insane how all of that just hit this morning. Like, you know, I turned on the news and I saw that Rob Reiner was dead. And initially it wasn't, the story feed had not moved into the actually what had happened. Like it was just Rob Reiner was dead. Like rest in peace, Rob Reiner. It's like, holy crap. You know, I knew he was probably what, 70s.
When I first saw the news, the headline was multiple deaths at at home owned by Rob Reiner. Like they weren't even confirming that it was him.
Right.
And then the news just kept getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, son Nick Reiner has been booked in the Los Angeles County Jail on suspicion of murder. Credits for Rob Reiner. This is Spinal Tap.
Well, before you get into the credits, just I want to dwell on the whole son did the murdering thing. I mean, the thought that got me earlier today was, can you imagine 40-some years ago as Rob Reiner was looking down at his newborn baby boy, that the thought would ever have crossed his mind that this child, this progeny of mine, is going to end my life with a knife someday. I mean, you never know, and it's
That's
just
scary.
unfathomable that your own child would be the cause of the end of your life.
There were reports out of, TMZ was reporting apparently at Conan O'Brien's big Christmas party, the Rob Reiner, Michelle Reiner, Nick Reiner, the one that is now in jail, that there was a huge argument that took place at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party. And I guess that bled over into eventually what led to the stabbing death of both Rob Reiner and his wife.
Did I read correctly that was their daughter that found them?
I think that's, I did see a report that said that. It's awful. To list some of the credits of the things that I found, just the amazing work that he did. Spinal Tap, which absolutely is one of my favorite movies.
You need to pick, after you go through this list, you need to pick which one is your favorite. I have a favorite.
Okay. He was Meathead in All the Family.
Mm-hmm.
That was along with Carol O'Connor.
Weren't they only 5 months apart in age? I mean, that Carol O'Connor was actually much younger than he looked in that show.
Carol O'Connor, it's funny. There have been, because Carol O'Connor's character in All in the Family was such a bigot and such a racist. There are people that I have known in my past that have used an image of Carol O'Connor from All in the Family as their profile picture because they aligned with that character. Carol O'Connor was historically one of the most liberal people in the 60s, 70s, and 80s to exist. Like, yeah, he played characters that didn't align with who he was as a person, but that, I think that just showed the diversity of his ability to act. So The Princess Bride, Stand By Me, When Harry Met Sally, A Few Good Men, Misery, The Bucket List. I mean, I don't know, to pick one. I would probably have to say Princess Bride. I think Princess Bride and A Few Good Men.
No, you can only pick one. Which of those two stay?
Oh, shit. All right. Princess Bride.
Okay. I'll take A Few
The
Good
Princess
Men.
Bride.
So that'll get recognized. That's my favorite of the list.
Yeah.
I would fall
It's
asleep
fantastic.
listening to that movie. It was the dialogue in it, the acting, the story, everything about it was wonderful. Perfect.
It was everything he did, even if it was him acting, like he was extremely accomplished. And like looking at some of the interviews that he would do, like you just got this sense of someone who was just extremely joyful. Like he always gave you the impression that he was happy. And then today I see the post from
I was hoping
Donald
you wouldn't
Trump.
bring this up.
I don't know where he gets his information. And I don't want to read word for word what it was that he said, but I am constantly reminded that we have a president who is absolutely unable to act like a president. He has no ability to restrain himself in a way that makes him seem human enough to be a president. And it's constantly disappointing. He said, I'm not going to read all of it, but he said Rob Reiner was tortured and struggling because of basically his Trump derangement syndrome, because he disagreed with Donald Trump, because he was a progressive advocate for social justice and people being taken care of, and recognizing the role that the government plays in being a part of people's lives and how that should be. Donald Trump believed that he had Trump derangement syndrome, which is absolutely insane to me. This was not a man who went out there every day. He, like, if I were trying to imagine someone that has Trump derangement syndrome, I would say that what's his name? Robert De Niro is closer to having what I would call Trump derangement syndrome.
There is no such thing. I wouldn't even give it.
I know
phrase
there isn't
any credence whatsoever.
I know there isn't, but it's just
if there's one
like
individual who adds most to the world by subtracting himself from it, it's Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, that is true addition by subtraction. If he just removes himself from the equation, the world immediately becomes a better place.
Yeah. I'm constantly reminded of the wish that I have on my birthday every year, which is maybe today will be the day.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. No, it's not my birthday. Somebody does have a birthday coming up, or has passed, or is near.
Yeah. That would be me. I have a birthday that has passed, or is coming up, or is near. That would apply to me. Yes.
I think it's near. I have not taken the opportunity to wish you happy birthday on all of the episodes in November and December and January to make sure that I get it covered correctly. My bad. When you heard the news about, I'll start off with this. Sunday, I went to Colonel Hightower's fish fry, which Todd Rutherford, Senate or House Minority Leader for the state of South Carolina, Todd Rutherford was there.
Oh.
Jermaine Johnson, Dr. Jermaine Johnson showed up. He hung out with us for a little while. David Robinson, who is running for Congressional District 2 here in South Carolina.
You know what's sad? Over where I am at in District 3, there's nobody running. Nobody.
No one.
No, this Sherry Biggs is going to be unopposed. I'm convinced of it.
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
So, but while we were all just hanging out, one of the things that came up was the shooting, the massacre, basically in Australia.
Oh, wow.
And one of the questions that was asked was there a hint of relief when you found out that it was not in the United States, that this didn't take place here?
You know what? That's the automatic reaction for any of the mass shootings or things that you see about, is that you want to know what's their color, what's their gender, what's their political preference. You want to know about them to see if they're a member of your tribe or not. Take, for example, the Washington During January 6th, the guy who planted the pipe bombs at the RNC and DNC headquarters,
Right.
they caught him, right?
Yeah.
And then when I saw his photo, it was a young black man. I went, oh, this isn't going to be good. And then you read this man was completely awash in conspiracy theories about a stolen election and that he was acting on Donald's behalf. I was like, oh, okay, good. It was one of them. You know, you're trying to either associate or dissociate. You want to know where they fall into. With every one of these tragedies, it's a terrible reaction, but it's a natural one.
I think every single time there is such a desire to compartmentalize and break down every piece of it to try and find which piece of it is at least okay. Like, it's not good.
Like, there was a mass shooting right here in the United States that completely got knocked off the headlines an hour later by what happened in Australia.
Yeah. Yeah. There are the 2 students were killed at Brown University. There were 9 other people that were wounded.
And still, the suspect's not caught. They have no idea who it was. Nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. And if I may say, Trump completely fucked that one up, because when they had a suspect that was in custody, he made an announcement through social media that the suspect had been caught.
No, I think you've actually got the timeline a little wrong. Here's the timeline as I understood it.
Did I get it wrong?
Yeah, because that announcement from Trump came before they had a person of interest in custody. So his preceded the other, but he was just repeating a statement that the university itself had published, which they then retracted. So this is why...
But he didn't retract it until late, right?
I don't know the timing of that. But
something weird about the timeline.
Yeah, it was a messed up timeline, but it really, if you're an elected official, shut the fuck up, right?
Yeah.
Give your condolences, but don't be announcing like you're Channel 9 breaking news, right? You're not the source of news. It's chaotic during those first few hours, if not the first couple of days. Just shut up and let the investigators do their job.
Yeah. Yeah. So
unless you're Kash Patel, then you come launching yourself out of your midget closet all bonky-eyed and make dumb announcements that give away the plan.
Oh God, Kash Patel. The stories about his interaction with field agents and the things that are being, he's going to call them leaks. Trump's going to call them leaks. Like, this is information that shouldn't come out, but it's loyal FBI agents that have worked for the FBI for decades. They're just like, I can't fucking sit here and just not say something. The dude is wearing a medium women's jacket. They had to literally glue Velcro to it so that he could have.
They took out a Sharpie, and it's this old Sharpie thing. You turn any jacket into an FBI jacket with a Sharpie.
I don't know. Like, this weekend was just a wash with just. I mean, I guess it was just mostly Sunday, but everything just started to roll Sunday and then into Monday. 2 gunmen identified as a father and son, aged 50 and 24. The 50-year-old was shot and killed by law enforcement. The 24-year-old was shot, arrested, and remains in critical condition. The attack was targeted at the annual Jewish community event called Hanukkah by the Sea, which was celebrating the first night of Hanukkah. Hundreds of people were in attendance. The videos of watching these people running away from the gunshots was just. There was social media posts of a man who went back to his car when the shot. He left his wife and child because he went back to the car to retrieve something, and then the shots started being fired. He tried to run towards them to get to them. He was shot. He literally took a photo of him, sending it to his wife so she would know where to find him if he didn't live. And like, that made it across social media and became viral. And just, they said that this was the worst. This is considered the deadliest mass shooting in Australia since the 1996 Port Arthur massacre, which was the event that basically made owning a firearm in Australia illegal. And it became bipartisan support. This was something that swept across the entire country, conservatives and liberals alike. Everyone basically for the most part, it had overwhelming support. People turned in their firearms. They gave up their guns to shoot. Same in the UK, where you have to be a part of a club, and the only time you can shoot your gun is you go to the club or you do whatever. But it became, everyone, for the most part, people just turned in their firearms because of this event in 1996. And I don't know how two individuals, except that they did say that the 50-year-old father was a licensed firearm holder and possessed at least 6 legal guns in Australia. So once again, it isn't the illegal firearms that are being sold illegally that are making it into these crimes. Even in Australia, in the United States, most of the gun crime that occurs is with legally purchased firearms.
So did I read correctly? It was a father and son that did the shooting.
Yeah. They stood up on a bridge overlooking the crowd and shot into the crowd.
And in the U.S., it was a son that stabbed his famous father to death and his mother.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a talk with my boy. I got to just check his mental health,
make
see
sure,
how well he's doing.
I was going to say, make sure the patriarchy still exists and is holding strong. Don't let him out of his sight. Do you want some good news, Bill?
Yeah, you're depressing the snot out of me today, bro.
Yeah. So, City of Columbia here in South Carolina is moving forward with plans for a world-class water park on the Congaree River. They announced
I thought they had
1.7
implemented some parking legislation to fix your issue there.
Oh my God, I wish. No, it's a $1.7 million contract with a firm that was responsible for New York City's High Line, signaling a significant positive urban development project here in Columbia, South Carolina. So we're going to get a
water park.
They're going to be a water park on the Congaree River.
Went to a water park. Last time I went to a water park was in Myrtle Beach. No, was it Myrtle Beach? It was Florida. It was Florida, and there was this big old water park, King Kahuna, something like that. We went there, paid $40 a person for the day pass, and half of the rides were closed.
Oh,
half, and it looked like due to staffing. But they said, pardon us, this ride is closed. Pardon us, that ride is closed. And the lines were extraordinarily long. You still had to pay full admission for a half-functional park. Like, that was just bullshit.
Yeah,
it was like, put up some sort of announcement in advance, or at least give you discounts. If half the rides are busted, charge half price. Then, it's like, then you can understand. No,
we take the kids occasionally to the Great Wolf Lodge.
Yes,
which
that's been an annual event in our family when they were younger. What do you think of that place?
Yeah. So it's exhausting, if I'm being honest. And it's not, look, and kudos to them because they do everything extremely well.
Yeah.
Like it is, when you get there, one of the first things you can do is you can go in and get kids can get their magic wand. So now they've got their magic wand and they can run around literally all day. They don't even have to spend a whole day in the water park. They can go running around with this book of magic codes and secrets and things like that, and they scan things, and there's like 15 levels to it. You're running up and down the stairs.
Sounds like you had fun with that wand.
It is legitimately it's a good time, but it is just exhausting.
I can imagine you
and
doing
then
all
you
that
have
running
the water
around.
park.
I can imagine you're with your kids while they're running around, so you're just trying to keep up with them. You're not letting them out of your sight.
They're getting old enough where you just kind of pin a $20 bill to, and then a Ron White joke, pin a $20 bill to and tell them good luck.
The best thing about Great Wolf Lodge is that they have a Dunkin' Donuts. That was my favorite thing about it.
They do have a Dunkin' Donuts.
It's like a treat whenever I get to go to that Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah. They do have a Dunkin' Donuts, and they do take mobile orders. So you don't have to stand in this line that is taking forever as people, because it opens up at like 7:00 in the morning.
I'm the first one in line. No problem.
Okay. Good for you. I would sometimes be the first in line. But which Great Wolf Lodge did you go to? The one in Charlotte?
Yeah.
Okay. So actually, here's a little secret. While the Dunkin' Donuts is great to go ahead and get in a coffee, there is a custom donuts place that is just outside of the Great Wolf Lodge in right, like as you're going back towards the main highway. It's only about 2-minute walk. and you can get some unbelievably good donuts.
What's a
Can't remember
custom
the name of
donut?
it.
Like you put in your order, I want a broccoli and hair donut.
They might do that, but they have normal donuts too.
Okay.
But they're giant, like they're enormous donuts.
Yeah, I don't need
they're
that.
huge
I just need my Boston cream Dunkin' Donuts
That's
and
fair.
Dunkin'
That's
Donuts
fair.
coffee. I don't need any of that fancy walk for 2 miles donut. I'm good.
I will say this. I think the thing that Dunkin' Donuts is missing out on, they stopped doing, was the they took the Boston cream donut, but they did the donut. It was the layered donut. What do they call those things? It was almost like a crescent roll, not a crescent roll. Is that right? What is the French things? Croissants. It was a Dunkin' Donut croissant donut, but it was a
Like an
Boston
eclair?
cream. No, I mean it was round.
Okay.
But the Boston cream, whatever you want to call
The
it.
Boston cream is just a round donut with icing on top and Boston cream in the middle. You get your
Right.
What is this bullshit fancy croissant donut you were missing?
I'm just telling you.
Maybe
it was good.
Yeah, you belong to Starbucks, man. That's where you belong. Go into foo-foo place. I need a working man's Dunkin' Donuts.
I'm going to tell you this. I don't even like going to Starbucks for my birthday coffee, because the only thing I'm going to order is just a black coffee with some Splenda, and that's it. Like anytime I bring that up, somebody's always like, "Oh, that's the day you get like the most expensive coffee they have." I was like, "Yeah, but I still have to drink it. It's not anyway." Other good news. Someone in South Carolina became a winner. The winning Powerball ticket was sold at a Quick Trip. Has not been disclosed where this was in South Carolina, but somebody did win. I don't think it was a full-on Powerball win, but it was like 4 numbers and the Powerball.
Because I think at this moment, if they had won the full Powerball and hit it,
we'd know.
They would own South Carolina at that point. It's like, this is my state.
Yeah. Would you, if you won the lottery, would people know?
Oh, yes.
Would you let?
Yeah.
You would let people know?
Yeah. Because I'd be like, see y'all.
I don't think I'd ever let anyone know.
Oh.
I would live my life exactly the way I live it now. No one would ever know. It just wouldn't happen. It would
be like Brewster's Millions to me, because I wouldn't know how to spend that much money fast enough. Like I wouldn't to be honest. I like my tech equipment, and I'm pretty much set with everything I've got. I'm happy.
Yeah.
I love my books and music. I've got more books, music, and TV and movies to watch than I could possibly do before I die if I was to do nothing but from now until then. Like, I don't know what I would do with all that money. Travel the world? I have no interest in going to visit these places. Like, I'll look at them from National Geographic magazine or the TV, but I have no interest in going to a poisonous jungle to see these pyramids myself, or drinking the water in India to go see those sites. I don't want to do any of that. I'm fine right where I am. So I have no interest in traveling.
I understand.
What would I do with several $1 billion? I don't know.
Yeah. I would not change anything. The only thing I could tell you is that
I would quit my job. Would you not quit your job?
I wouldn't. I would
you
work
love your
until
job
the day
so much that if you won the lottery, multi-millions, you would still get up at 5 a.m. and deal with tech support.
I would work that job until the day they asked me to stop.
Why? You're just going to be a flaming asshole? You're going to be like, asshole millionaire?
Bill, you need
Barrett Gruber, millionaire speaking. How can I help you?
You need to shadow me during my regular job.
You can afford to pay me to shadow you at that point. So yes, I'll shadow you for $100,000. I'll catch whatever spills out your back pocket.
There's virtually nothing I don't get away with now. So it would just be an exaggerated extent of that.
Look, I can see if you were doing a job you loved, like if you were a musician and your job was to tour in a rock band. All right, you do that. But you can't love that job. Maybe I'm projecting onto you, but you can't love that job so much you would still do it if you were suddenly wealthy.
I would be insufferable. Like I said, I would work that job until the day they asked me to stop working it. Like that would.
If I was to follow that path, I would last two more minutes on my job because I would be
potentially exactly. Honestly, I would probably devote most of my time to doing this. Like
Yeah.
I'd be live all the time.
I would get a professional studio built.
Yeah.
I saw what Dr. Jermaine Johnson had with his Breakfast Club interview, and I was like, man, that's what
nice, right?
That's what happens when you have a budget. That's sweet.
That was and it was a good interview.
Mine was better. I got to tell you, for all that budget they had, I think my interview was far more compelling.
I agree. I listen to the Breakfast Club probably 2 or 3 days a week.
I'd never heard of them before. I guess they're a big deal.
Really?
Yeah.
You've never heard of Charlemagne the God?
Yes.
No?
I guess I didn't know that.
Okay.
I didn't associate him with the Breakfast Club. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But Dr. Johnson told me last week that he was going to be on there. I think he recorded last Monday. And so last Monday, and then the episode, his interview aired today. Which again, I thought it was a pretty good interview. I think your interview was more entertaining. I think your interview got more information out of him, specifically about
his interview with the Breakfast Club. His answers were his rehearsed answers. Like every answer I'd heard about a dozen times before, because they didn't really ask anything that hadn't already been asked. I didn't catch anything. Good interview. If that was the first time you've heard him, you were in for a treat, no doubt.
Yeah.
But you and I, we've been listening to this guy for a while now. And so we know all these stories almost by heart.
Yeah. I talked to him yesterday about, we talked a little bit about Annie Andrews. I told him how I agree completely with her messaging and what it is that she wants to do as the next senator, replacing, Lindsey Graham. I said one of the things that, and this is nothing against her, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that she is constantly having to defend herself. That she has been beaten up so much that everything comes across as very defensive. And if I could just work with her.
What has she been beaten up about? What's been beaten up on her?
With the Nancy Mace stuff from the last campaign and things like that. I just think her personality comes across sometimes as she's constantly having to defend herself, where Lindsey Graham is just fucking charismatic. As much as I don't like him.
There is nothing charismatic about him. He doesn't give a shit about anything. That's for sure.
I know.
Charismatic? Has he ever made you smile? You found him entertaining or compelling to listen to?
But there are people that do. There are people that do
enjoy.
There
is nobody that finds Lindsey Graham charismatic. There's nobody. I challenge you. Okay, Donald Trump, I'll grant you that. And even then I find him vile, but people will stand with their jaw open while he speaks. There is nobody who is doing that for Lindsey Graham.
Fox News and Newsmax seems to love it when he gets up there in front of a microphone.
Did you see that interview the other day? I think it was night before. He was at a hotel and he looked drunk off his ass.
Oh yeah.
You see that?
Well, he did a speech in front of some group where he was like, we're killing the right people. We're destroying the right whatever. And it's like, fucking, hey, Lindsey, maybe hold off on the bourbon just a little bit. Your boyfriend's going to be okay. You don't have to drink your way through this one.
Like, how does he get to survive that? How does Ted Cruz get to survive saying we have to stop attacking pedophiles? Like he said,
it's the dumbest. Yeah, it's the dumbest timeline. It is the dumbest timeline.
They get away scot-free.
Yeah.
Joe Biden makes a little slip, man, they're ready to crucify him.
Well, I mean, Donald Trump sleeps through his cabinet meetings that he has called. And anyone says anything about him sleeping, like he flipped out last week about how people it is, what did he say? It's seditious behavior for anyone to talk about him falling asleep during his cabinet meetings. One of the cabinet meetings, they were literally talking about the money that was going to go to farmers. It was like $12 billion is going to be given to farmers, because it was going to be $13 billion, but there's $1.5 billion that's going to be set aside for something else. And whoever it was, Department of the Interior, Agriculture, Secretary of Agriculture, was talking about this $12 billion and whatnot. And Donald Trump wakes up out of nowhere and just goes, $13 billion. like that was he woke up. He woke up and that's what happened. And then he gets pissed off because people are talking about him sleeping through his own. These are cabinet meetings that he called. He doesn't have to call these cabinet meetings. They don't need to have a cabinet meeting every single week. I think Biden had cabinet meetings like once a month, and Trump has them every week because every now and then he needs his ego stroke just a little bit, Fucking hey. Anyway, hey, the turnout at the South Congaree Christmas parade was great over the weekend. I I worked with Colonel Hightower the whole time, and I would say that he shook just about every single hand that he could. In fact, we were about, I don't know, we were about a third, like where the car was for Colonel Hightower. We were about a third of the way from the beginning of it. But by the time we got to the end of the parade route, traffic was actually already flowing. So the police had already moved past us. We were still, we were pulling up the end of it.
Those parades go way too fast for a politician who wants to shake hands.
But he was the only politician that was outside of his car. So Joe Wilson had a Humvee, like a military Humvee that was there. He didn't even ride in the Humvee. He sat at the corner of Joe Wilson was standing at the end of the parade route on the corner by himself. When we came past him, there was nobody near him. Nobody. It was also, the campaign that is running against Colonel Hightower, they walked in their truck. They rode the parade route in their truck. So Colonel Hightower was out there booking
He's doing it. How are you feeling about that election? You think there's a chance?
It's going to come down to turnout.
Well, that's brilliant. Yes. It's going to come down to whoever gets the most votes, I think. I think that's going to determine this election.
I don't think just based on conversation, like I went over and spoke
Christmas Eve? Is it the 24th?
23rd.
23rd. So it's the Tuesday, right?
So next Tuesday.
23rd.
So early voting goes through this Friday at the Lexington Election Commission office. That goes through this Friday. Yeah. But the fish fry had between 80 and 100 people show up to it yesterday.
Great.
There's going to be another event later this week there where they're going to try and get some more people to turn out. They have the texting and robocalls are being expanded this week from the group that it was. You know how all this works. Basically, you have a list of phone numbers and things based on turnout from different primaries and things like that. They have expanded that so that they can get more phone calls and text messages out to people. So I was not included in the first round. I did get my text messages today. So I think I'm going to be an observer on Tuesday next week. So I will get numbers and everything called in as soon as polls close, and we'll see how it goes.
I guess we'll talk about the results on Wednesday of next week.
That is
if we're doing a Christmas Eve show.
I don't mind. We can do a Christmas Eve show.
Yeah.
Or,
got nothing else going on.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're going to have family over to eat pizza and open some gifts before everybody goes to bed for Christmas Day. So that's what we do. That's our tradition. Pizza and gifts. So.
Good.
Anyway. All right. Well, I've held you up late enough. I know you want to get to sleep. I'd like to see the bed here in a minute. There it is. Gonna wrap it up for this episode. Big thanks for everybody watching. Thanks for listening. Don't forget you can follow Bill at PoliticalBillSC. You can follow myself at Barrett Gruber. Thanks for liking and hitting that bell. And if you can, give us a 5-star review, leave a comment. Until next time, you all stay safe, be kind, and keep your hands to yourself.
The preceding podcast is a product of Big Media, LLC, and is copyright 2025, all rights reserved.